And remember, we're going to begin our Year 3 Hebrew language class by going to God in prayer. Father in heaven, we pray a blessing upon our Hebrew class. I pray that you'll be with me, that I will be able to teach this language in as simple a way as possible, that everyone may understand. I pray that you will be with the students of this class. I pray that you may help each one to put out their best to try to master this language so that each person may be able to use it in their study of the Holy Scriptures in the Old Testament. We pray, dear Father, in Jesus' name, amen. Okay, right now we're going to be going through the test and looking at how to answer the questions in a better way in the future. Okay, now these are the questions that were asked last week. You have already done the test, so let nobody be frightened into thinking that we're having a test. We're just looking at the test that was given on Monday, November 7th. And the first question, as you can see over on the left-hand side of the screen, is what are possessive pronouns? Now, the expected answer, as I will show you shortly on the next screen, is everybody able to see the screen? Possessive pronouns are words.
Yes, brother.
Good. That stand in place of nouns so that the noun does not have to be written all the time. Well, that itself is a definition of the word pronouns. These words tell to whom something belongs. And now I'm dealing with not just pronouns, but possessive pronouns. For example, my laptop. Well, the word my is a possessive pronoun. Thy laptop, that's Old English. In modern English, we say your laptop, whether it is referring to one person or more than one person. In this case, I've used the Old English to distinguish the singular person from the plural. Thy laptop, his laptop, her laptop, our laptop, your laptop, and their laptop. All those words underlined illustrate the Hebrew possessive pronoun. It tells to whom something belongs. My laptop, the laptop belongs to me. Thy laptop, the laptop belongs to you. His laptop, the laptop belongs to him. Her laptop, the laptop belongs to her. Our laptop, the laptop belongs to us. Your laptop, the laptop belongs to you, more than one. And their laptop, the laptop belongs to them. So these are possessive pronouns in the English language. Now let me discuss question number 2. And let us refresh our memory as to what number 2 is. Number 2 on the left-hand side of the screen, where in a word may you find a possessive pronoun? I mean, where in the Hebrew word may you find a possessive pronoun? In the Hebrew language, these possessive pronouns come at the end of words. That is why they're called endings. In the normal grammatical language, it would be called suffixes. S-U-F-F-I-X-E-S, suffixes. Suffixes are endings that are attached to words. So where may we find these possessive pronoun endings? These possessive pronouns come at the end of words. Brother Solin, you're still correct when you said that they're put onto the left-hand side of the word, because we're reading the word from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. And so it would come at the left-hand side of the word. Both of them are correct. They come at the end and they come at the left, because the left is the end section of the word. For example, the first singular, both masculine and feminine nouns, use the same ending. You have this as the symbol of it. In English, it can be put into this as a long I sound, literally E, an E sound, and translated my. Second singular masculine is eka, which is thy. Second singular feminine is ek, which is thy. Third singular masculine is o, which is his. Third person singular feminine is a, which is her. First person plural, both masculine and feminine nouns use the same endings, is enu, which is our. Second person plural masculine is ekem, which is your. Second person plural feminine is eken, which is your. Third person plural masculine is which is there. And third person plural feminine is an, which is there. So these are possessive pronoun endings that come to the left-hand side of the word or are attached at the end of the word. The next question, number 3, is write the possessive pronoun my. Well, here it is. My horse is Susi. Sus by itself is horse. It is a noun, which is a masculine singular noun. But if you want to say my horse, you put the possessive pronoun ending at the left of the word or at the end of the word, and that is the long vowel long hirique, which is an E sound. I've underlined it. Susi, my horse. My in English, and the long hirique ending is the possessive pronoun equivalent to my. So Sus is horse, but Susi is my horse. Let's look at the next question. Number 4, write the possessive pronoun thy, and you're using it in reference to someone who is masculine or something that is masculine, whether a human being or an animal. You are, well, let's say human. We're using thy in reference to this noun belonging to a certain male or masculine person. So thy, let's see what the answer is. Okay, so here is thy horse, susika, eka ending, and this is a second person singular masculine pronoun. It means thy horse, and you're talking to someone who is masculine in gender. Let's look at the next question. The next question, number 5. Let me get the pointer here. Write the possessive pronoun thy when you're referring to someone of the feminine gender. So this is thy, susek. The ek ending is second person singular feminine pronoun. So this would be the answer. Ache. This is the ending. Susek. Ache is the ending. Next question, number 6. Write the possessive pronoun is. Of course, that is masculine gender. And this is what it looks like. The masculine pronoun ending is holem. It's an O sound, a long O sound. That is his. So that is the answer. That's what you would write. I just put sus to illustrate it, but this is the answer. The ending right here is holem or colon. O, the long O, third person singular, masculine pronoun. Number 7, write the possessive pronoun her, feminine gender. And the answer is her. Here you have the kamis, he ending, which is the sign of the feminine gender. And in addition, we have a dot in the middle of the letter, which we studied several trimesters ago. This is mapik, which means bringing out the full sound of the letter. And so we draw out the he like ah, ah. And this is a sign of the feminine, the third person singular, feminine pronoun, possessive ending. Her, ah. Next question, number 8. Write the possessive pronoun our. And let's look at that. Here you have it here. Just getting the arrow. Our is enu, E-N-U, sire, nun, shurek, enu. Notice the accent mark is over here, so we'll stress a, enu, our. Next question, number 9. Write the possessive pronoun your. This is your plural, masculine. Your, here it is. This is the second person plural masculine pronoun. Ekem, 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 your. You do the same thing with the feminine. Number 10. Write the possessive pronoun your, feminine. And here it is. Your, eken, eken. The masculine has the mem or the m at the end. The feminine has the nun or the n at the end. Eken, eken, your. Number 11, write the possessive pronoun their, masculine. And here you have it. Kamis, mem. Third person plural masculine pronoun there. And the next question is number 12. Write the possessive pronoun there, feminine. And here it is, underlined. You have their horse, an, kamis, nun. And just to review it, here are the possessive pronoun endings: e, my, eka, thy, ek, thy, o, his, a, her, enu, our, ekem, your, eken, your, their, an, their. Now let's look at the next side of the screen, number 13. Underline the possessive pronoun in susi. and translate Susi into English. Now, notice, I don't know if any of you noticed, but perhaps you did, but let me show you. I've done this in order. I've not mixed it up. You see, when I ask about write the possessive pronoun my, it's right here. When I say write the possessive pronoun thy, masculine, it's right here, etc. I've done it in order. Now, these questions have two parts. The first part is to underline the possessive pronoun in each case. And the second part is to translate the whole word into English. Underline the possessive pronoun in Susi. So you underline this, or you write it out, or you type it out, and then you translate the whole word into English. So the solution to the problem of possibly overlooking part of a question is that when you are finished the test, you carefully look over your answers if you have enough time. And if you see that you have left out part of an answer, then use the remaining time to put in the missing answer. Okay, that is the solution. Don't only look for grammatical errors in the English language translation, but look to see if I have left out any part of the question. And the reason for that is if you leave out part of a question, at best, you can only get half of the total amount of marks for that question, at best. Okay, so here we have number 13. Underline the possessive pronoun in Susi. And if you have already gotten the ones over here, it would help you to answer each of these over on the right-hand side. The possessive pronoun my in Hebrew is this. You have the yod and you have the dot to the underneath the letter here, the last letter of the noun. It's a long hirik. That's what a long hirik looks like. And then you say, well, Susi is my horse, or you can simply say my horse. This is the E ending, and the other part of the question is my horse, and you get full marks. Number 14, underline the possessive pronoun in Susika. So you underline this, the simple shua, the kaf, which is written like this at the end of a word, and the kamis that is written in the kaf, eka. And then translate the whole word, Susika, into English, is thy horse. That's masculine. Number 15, underline the possessive pronoun in Susek. This is the feminine form of the second person singular possessive pronoun ending. It's the sire, kaf, and a simple shua, ek. And then the other half of the question is translate. Susek is thy horse, referring to a person of the feminine gender. Underline the possessive pronoun, this is number 16, in suso. Well, here it is, a holem. And translate suso into English, well, that would be his horse. 17, underline the possessive pronoun susa. And this is it, kamis, a, with the mapik or dot in the middle of the letter. Translate susa into English, that would be her horse. Underline the possessive pronoun susenu. Well, here it is. You have the accent You have the sire, the noon, and the shurek, the E and U ending. Translates to sino into English, that would be our horse. Number 19, underline the possessive pronoun susakem in the Hebrew here, and that is sire, simple shua. You have the kaf, you have segol, and you have mem, ekem. And translate susakem, it is their horse. Number 20, underline the possessive pronoun in susam, that would be kames mem. And then translate susam into English, that would be their horse. That's the third person plural masculine possessive pronoun ending. That's a kames mem ending. Susam, their horse. Okay. Don't confuse it with your horse. Notice the difference. You have ekem for your horse and am for their horse. Okay. Now, does anyone have any question on their tests? If you see a need for me to look at the individual tests, that's fine. Anyone wants me to look at their individual test?
You can do it, but I'm not sure there is anything that I need to do.
Okay. Yes, let us look at it. Of course, this grade is not a true reflection of what you knew on the test. You knew a lot more. It's just that you did not read the direction for the right-hand side of the screen carefully, even though you might have thought you did at first. Okay, what are possessive pronouns? This is full marks. Possessive pronoun is a word that is used to replace a sentence in order. This should be order, O-R-D-E-R, in order to avoid the repetition of the noun in question and simultaneously point out that something belongs to that particular noun which has been replaced. Example, Sarah is a Christian, this Bible is hers. This is a possessive pronoun in English. In that example, notice that the word hers replaces the noun Sarah and at the same time tells us that the Bible belongs to her, in brackets, Sarah. Okay, number 2. We may find the possessive pronoun at the left side of a Hebrew word, which is the same as saying at the end of the word. For it is a suffix, and you've used the technical term used in grammars, attached to the word, which tells whose, that would be in English, W-H-O-S-E, whose belonging it is. 10% I gave you anyway. And a would be the feminine possessive ending, meaning her. Enu would be the first person plural possessive pronoun ending, meaning our. Ekem. Okay, let me look at the test and see the question there again. Ekem. I think I was asking for there, and there is actually kames mem, am, and ekem is the possessive pronoun ending, meaning your. Well, let me look at the question just to refresh my memory. That's number 5. Number 5, write the possessive. Oh, no, it's not there. Number 11, you are answering number 11. But now, okay, write the possessive pronoun there, masculine. You had put down ekem, but remember ekem is the second person plural, masculine, translated as your. And this is the answer I was looking for, kames mem, the am is there. Am is there. Okay, let's just go back to Brother Solins. No, not that one. This one here. Okay, so it should have been ekem, which is the answer you put down, is your, but there is kames mem. Now, this is the section of the test that you knew the answers. I know that you know the answers, you know the full answer, but you did not, at the time, realize that you had missed the second half of the question. So you, in all cases, you got full marks for identifying the possessive pronoun endings. And I suppose the title that you put here caused you to focus on identifying the possessive pronoun endings. Maybe if you had gone on to write and translate the whole word, you would go on to translate the whole word. But this caused you to focus on identifying possessive pronoun endings. And so you identified the first person singular ending, which is common to both masculine and feminine genders, e, the long hirik, and you are supposed to go ahead and translate Susi, which is my horse. And this is the second person singular masculine gender possessive pronoun ending, eka, which means your, and suseka would have been translated your horse. You wouldn't have to put the singular here in brackets, your horse. Ek is the second person singular feminine gender possessive pronoun ending. Your horse, meaning your is referring to a female. O is the third person singular masculine possessive pronoun ending. It's a holem, and it was Suso, and you would have translated Suso as his horse. And in number 17, the kames he ending, which has a mapik or a dot in the H or the he, is the possessive pronoun ending, and you would have translated Susa, S-U-S-A-H, with the dot in the H, as her horse. So identifying the possessive pronoun endings was worth half of the amount of percentage points. And then the other 5% would have been the translation of the noun with its possessive pronoun ending. And you would have gotten another 5% here, another 5, another 5, another 5, and another 5. Actually then, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, you'd have gotten 90% for your test. Yes.
I think what happened, as you said, you see, it was 2 categories.
Yes.
The first category was possessive pronoun endings.
Yes.
And the second one was identifying.
Or translate the whole word.
Well, about the category, that's
Yeah.
only what I know, that's only what I saw.
Yeah.
But if I look through
The
on
question.
the question though, I noticed that
Yeah.
it's expensive. I thought, of the, let me say, the title, which I
Yeah.
identify the category.
Okay,
That's
I see what you're saying. Let me look
Yeah.
back at the test. I think I understand what you're saying.
Yes, but I was supposed to be.
Or identifying possessive pronoun endings. I get you. So you focused on that,
Yes.
and you thought that all of these questions were only dealing with identifying possessive pronoun endings. And as a result, you missed out half of the question. All right.
Yes.
Okay, let me go through Sister Hooper's test. Make sure that she understands. I'm going to enlarge it so we can see it better on the screen. Okay. Okay, so she answered question number 1. What are possessive pronouns? Possessive pronouns are words that stand in the place of nouns so that the noun does not have to be rewritten. Okay, let me see if I made any addition. I gave her 5%, which is half of the total amount of points, because she should also have written in her own words, not necessarily the same words I have. They also show to whom the noun belongs. They also show to whom the noun belongs. That's the idea of possessive. Possessive means ownership or belonging. Okay, so that is a part of the definition that was missing. Okay, let us look at number 2. Where are the possessive pronouns found? The possessive pronouns are found at the end of words. And she was to identify the first person singular possessive pronoun ending. This along heroic, and it's my. She was to identify an, commas, noon, which is their feminine gender. She was to identify the first person plural possessive pronoun ending, which is enu, our. Then in the right-hand side of the screen, she underlined the possessive pronoun ending, first person singular, and she translated the whole word, my horse. And she did the same with the others. You have the identification of the eka ending, which is the your singular masculine. And then she translated the whole of the word susika, thy horse, and put MAS standing for masculine. Number 15, she identified the second person singular feminine possessive pronoun ending, thy, and then translated the whole of the word susik, thy horse, in brackets, feminine. Number 16, she identified, well, she did not write she identified the possessive pronoun, but the possessive pronoun which comes here is similar to this, only that the dot is written at the top and not inside of the consonant. It's written at the top. She has it right though in the English, Suso, his horse. And then you have Susa, the commas hay with the mapik in the hay. She has identified the third person singular feminine possessive pronoun ending, which is AH. And she has translated the whole word Susa, her horse. Okay, so it is important then to recheck our answers if we have the time, and to look at the direction and also to look at the question closely. Is there any part of the question that I have not answered yet? Because if you do that, you will be able to pick up some additional percentage points. Now, is there any further question on the test?
No, sir.
All right. Sister Hooper, do you have any further question on last week's test?
No, Brother Buckland.
Okay. We're moving on to a new lesson. And that is lesson number 27. Oh, but before we do that, I'm going to, well, that is okay, that is okay. We're moving on to a new lesson at this time. All right, can you all see the title of this new lesson?
Yes.
It is lesson number, actually, I put the wrong number on it. It should be lesson number 26. I'll have to make a correction to that before I send it out to you. Lesson number 26, called inseparable prepositions. And these inseparable prepositions are lameth and faith with object pronoun endings. We're going to be looking at a different kind of ending. In the previous lesson, we looked at possessive pronoun endings, which show to whom something belongs. We're looking now at the object pronoun endings. And I will explain more about that as we get into the lesson. Okay, the general objectives. Can you see the general objectives? To examine the meaning of object pronouns. 2, to examine examples of object pronouns. 3, to examine where the object pronouns are placed on the prepositions lameth and baith. The specific objectives are, at the end of this lesson, the students will have defined object pronouns in English. 2, at the end of this lesson, the students will have identified at least 2 English examples of object pronouns. 3, at the end of this lesson, the students will have identified at least 5 object pronoun endings in Hebrew. Number 4, at the end of this lesson, the students will have placed the object pronouns at the end of the prepositions lameth and baith. Okay, so let us first of all look at the definition of the object pronouns. The inseparable prepositions lameth, baith with object pronoun endings is the title of the lesson. And here's the definition of the object pronoun. The object pronoun answers the question, who? For example, to whom should I go to help me to understand Hebrew? Well, there are different possible answers. The answer is to me, or to thee, In modern English, we would say to you, or to him, or to her, or to us, or to you, or to them. Therefore, object pronouns are me, thee, him, her, us, you, them. These words refer to the person or to the persons whom you need to go for help to understand Hebrew. They have similar forms to the possessive pronoun endings, not identical always, but similar. They are also written at the end of words such as inseparable prepositions. That is, they're not only written at the end of words, but they're also written at the end of the inseparable preposition, lameth and beth, as we will see in a few minutes from now. Okay, moving on, we're looking now at the object pronoun endings. Here are the object pronoun endings, and you can see from the start, some of them are identical in form to the possessive pronoun endings. You have e, but you would translate it not as my, but as me. Me is the object pronoun ending in English, used for both masculine and feminine genders. You have eka, just like in the possessive pronoun ending, except that when you're translating it, you don't write thy, but you write thee, masculine gender. This is similar also, but it's not identical. In the possessive pronoun ending, you had sire right here, and it was pronounced ache. Here it is pronounced ak, ak. It is thee, not thy, as in possessive pronoun endings, But in object pronoun endings, it is thee, feminine gender. The olem or the o is the same in form, but different in translation. In the possessive pronoun, it was translated as his, but in the object pronoun, it's translated as him, masculine gender. Similarly, you have kames he with the mapik. In the possessive pronoun ending, it is translated as I think it is translated as hers. You have his and you have hers. But here it is simply translated as her, feminine gender. Then similarly, you have anu. In the possessive pronoun ending, it was sire, nun, shurek, e, and u, enu, with an accent mark over the sire, enu. But in the object pronoun, it's kames, nun, shurek, anu, anu. And it's not translated as our, but it is translated as us. And it is used for both masculine and feminine genders. Also, akem, it's similar to ekem, which had the simple shua here, ekem, but in the object pronoun ending, it is kames, kaf, segol, mem, A-K-H-E-M, akem, translated as you, not yours. You, masculine gender. Aken is similar to aken, sire, kaf, segol, nun, but it is different in the kames. The kames is here instead of the simple shua. Aken. And it is translated as you instead of yours. And this is feminine gender. Ahem, similar, but it's different in that you don't simply have kames mem, am, but you have the he and the segol between the two. It's translated as them instead of theirs or their, masculine gender. Ahen is translated as them instead of their, feminine gender. Okay, so there are similarities in the form, in the spelling of the Hebrew object pronoun endings and the possessive pronoun endings, but they are different in certain places in the spelling, and they are all different in the translation. Now let us apply these object pronoun endings to the inseparable preposition lameth. Lameth here means two. So lameth, and you have long yurik, li, means to me, and applies both to the masculine gender and the feminine gender. Leka, to thee, masculine. Lak, to thee, feminine. Lo, to him, masculine. La, with the mapik in the hay, to her, feminine. Lanu, to us, used both with the masculine and feminine genders. Lakem, to you, masculine. Laken, to you, feminine. Lahem, to them, masculine. Lahen, to them, feminine. Let's also apply that to the inseparable preposition beit, which means in. Be in me, both masculine and feminine. Beka, in thee, masculine. Bak, in thee, feminine. Bo, in him, masculine. Ba, in her, feminine. Banu, in us, both masculine and feminine. Bakem, in you, masculine. Baken, in you, feminine. Bahem, in them, masculine. Bahen, in them, feminine. Okay, we're going to be looking at a tutorial briefly and see how much more understanding we can get from it. I already have the tutorial on the screen.
Hey everyone, welcome to a new day and a new session in our Intro to Biblical Hebrew. We're getting near the end of the
Can you
course,
hear
at
it?
least kind of through our first half.
Let me stop it. I don't think I put on the sound section. Let me just.
I believe as this system, because my computer is muted, but I think
Okay. Share sound. I'm going to share the sound. Maybe it should work now.
Hebrew, and the topics we've got today are in some ways a bit of a mixture of things we've looked at before, but by looking
Okay, let me start over again and see.
we're getting near the end of the course, at least kind of through our first half of the year through Hebrew. And the topics we've got today are in some ways a bit of a mixture of things we've looked at before. But by looking at a handful of different things, we'll be able to build into our knowledge in a few different areas in the Hebrew sentence. So the biggest thing on the docket for today is carrying on some unfinished business with pronominal suffixes. And now we're going to look at how those are used when they're joined with some inseparable prepositions, which is a really old topic for us in some ways, but now bringing a couple of things together. We'll talk around some things about syntax and function in a sentence of those items. We'll also look at a couple of other things that relate to verbal clauses. One of them being what we'll start to see more of are weak verbs. What happens when we have a guttural in one of our positions of our triliteral roots for a verb? We'll see that will require a few changes along some expected patterns for what we know for gutturals to do with reduced vowels and the like. And then lastly, we'll also touch on a word that we've looked at, I think, once before in our vocab list, that relative pronoun asher. And we'll see that pronoun is a way of really
I'm
building
going
clauses
to
or
advance it because we get to the relevant section.
Yes.
All right, this is the relevant section. Let's see. Let's see.
Independent personal pronouns. That was our who and he. Remember, our who means he and the he is a she. All those little rules and memory tips we looked at for remembering that table of IPP. Now those independent personal pronouns, it was really important we recall that those will only ever relate to the subject of a sentence. Here, we're getting a very different situation. If a pronoun needs to be the object of a phrase or a sentence, then it will be joined to inseparable prepositions. Now, the prepositions we're talking about are le, remember, to, for, or against, or b. That was our word for in, with, or by.
Okay,
We learned one more preposition along with
his
these.
voice is very low. I think perhaps it would be better if you look at it on your own. His voice is very low. I have to check my sound system to see if there are some speakers that are very low. But it's not coming clearly, audibly on my computer. So at the very end of the PowerPoint lesson is a link to this YouTube tutorial. Perhaps you'll be better able to understand the sections that are relevant to our lesson. You don't have to listen to everything because some things he will deal with that we're not studying right now. But anything that looks familiar, like the lameth and the beth and the object pronoun endings added to them, you can focus on that.
Yes.
All right, let me just exit out of this and go back. Okay, well, what I'd like you to do for your homework is to go back over the lesson. Yeah, this lesson here, it's supposed to be lesson 27. Yeah, lesson 25 was the absolute and construct state of nouns. Lesson 26 was possessive pronoun endings. And so this is lesson 27, which deals with the object pronoun endings added to two inseparable prepositions, lameth and beth. Study these because I will have a test on this lesson next week if God permits. Okay, but if you're having difficulty understanding it, just send me an email and I will see if you are ready for the test or not.
Yes.
All right, but as it is right now, prepare for a test next week, God permitting. All right, thank you all. I'll see you later on for beginners apologetics in the afternoon.
Yes, okay then.
All right.